over 350 pieces of equipment are missing, and RBC says it has absolutely no idea where they're at. RoadX Express Limited has just entered into receivership. So let this story sink in. A trucking company owes more than $8.7 million and another $500,000 US to the banks. Now this company enters into receivership, and when the court-appointed receiver arrives at the company's headquarters, the truck yard is empty and the office is vacant. The company's signage has been removed, and more than 350 pieces of equipment cannot be found. Now, something about this story just doesn't add up. According to the court documents, RoadX says it is cooperating with the receiver. But if that's the case, why can't anyone find the equipment? Now, the receiver says it was provided with a list of more than 350 trucks and trailers and other assets, but not their locations. And here's where things get even more interesting. RoadX was reportedly using Samsara trucking devices to monitor its fleet, but the services have been suspended for non-payments, so there was no active Samsara tracking available. Then PACCAR Finance told the receiver that the GPS and remote diagnostics were also deactivated. So let's read that again. No Samsara, no GPS, no remote tracking for any of the equipment. But according to the affidavit filed to the courts by RoadX director, Samrit Kalan admits that she personally arranged for the trucks and trailers to be moved out of the Georgetown yard. She said that the company had fallen behind on rent, feared of a lockdown by the landlord, and moved the equipment in an effort to keep the business operating. Which raises an obvious question. If the company management arranged for the equipment to be moved and says they are operating with the receiver, then why can't the receiver get the location of the equipment? Well, in fact, the receiver specifically told the court that despite repeated requests, it hasn't been able to determine where the assets are currently located. When we look into their FMCSA scores, it looks like they are flashing red with their unsafe driving, their hours of service compliance, and their vehicle maintenance are well above the national averages, and they are in the red. Now, I think we all know what just happened with a freight broker that hired a company with a bad safety record. They get pulled into and dragged into a lawsuit. Now, court documents already suggest that some of the equipment may have made its way into the United States. One truck was reportedly located in Laredo, Texas. Other equipment was already found in Michigan. The receiver is now asking the court to order the company principals to disclose the location of all equipment within 48 hours and appear for an examination under oath. Now, to be clear, RoadX does not oppose the receivership. The company says it became another victim of the freight recession after the post-COVID boom. And they are not the only ones. There are multiple companies that went under over the last 18 months. We all know how trucking has been over the last 2 years. Now, it doesn't matter how the company got to where it is today. What remains outstanding is where are those 350 pieces of equipment that are still unaccounted for? The banks can't find them, the receiver can't find them, the tracking systems won't work, and according to the court filings, the people who moved the equipment haven't yet provided the receiver with information needed in order to locate them. Now, I have called and asked around about this company, and I've actually looked at our records over here if we ever sold loads to them, and we have sold a couple of loads to them way back in 2024. But when I do dig around about their name, I feel like there's a lot of things that are going to come to light about this company over the next 48 hours. So make sure you're a part of this channel so I can keep you guys updated on what's happening with this closure and the assets.